Hey guys, Vol here, welcome back to my Equinox coverage. We're in Game 2, it's Empire against High Elves, my guys against Russell's little list here. Again, I just got to apologise for the slowness of the videos being uploaded. I've got a lot of other things on it. It takes a long time for me to actually upload the videos. In the meantime, if you guys are into StarCraft 2, go over to Team Liquid and check out the TSL 3 tournament. It looks really, really cool, and they've got some VODs up for that, so to entertain yourselves, really recommend it. Anyway, back to the game. This is the Watchtower scenario, and that big, long, barn-looking building in the middle is the Watchtower. So I've deployed my unit of Halberdiers with all of the characters in it right in front of that with some Flagellants behind them. And Russell has got his Swordmasters heading towards that same building. And the plan here is that I've got two options. I can either camp the swordsmen in front of the building and assault it later on, or I can move them past the building and have the Flagellants come in behind them and assault the building themselves. Either way, I'm feeling pretty confident about the scenario. He's got a Star Dragon and some chariots and some bolt throwers, but I've got 3 cannons, so that should do a lot of damage to those types of units. And I've got, of course, my knights over the left-hand flank as well. Next image, here's this dragon. I don't really know what his dragon's going to do. If he gets first turn, he can just try and head over to me and hope that my cannons misfire. There's not really any places that he can hide his guys. In New Zealand, we play hills in such a way that they count as being infinitely high for the purposes of true line of sight, except in the cases of large targets and monsters. So the dragon isn't allowed to hide by the hill. We just count it as true line of sight in his case. Next image, on my left-hand flank, you can see I've got a mortar set up in the hill as well, and 20 crossbows there in the middle, just ready to fire at his own longbows, his high elf archers, and that's all they really need to do. Just keep their own points there, and I've got regrowth rolled up in this game just to try and heal them back if I do get shot by Reaper bolt throwers and so on. And the tank, of course, is going to be very aggressive this game, as we'll see. Next image, I do manage to win the roll for the first turn. The knights start sweeping out on the left-hand flank here. I think in my last video I posted, somebody asked me why I'm using knights. On paper, knights aren't very good, but in practice they are very handy. And the reason why is because they allow you to take the fight to your opponent. They've got a good movement, so you can mop up units and so forth and actually get points, which is quite hard to do in 8th edition sometimes against a good player. So in this case, as you can see, the knights sweep out. They've actually got nothing opposing them there. The swordmasters are going for the building. The dragon's on the other side of the field. It's going to get shot by cannons in a couple of turns. So the knights actually get to go sweep through and wipe out all those archers. There's nothing really that can actually affect the knights here apart from possibly the bolt throwers, but they're still saving on 3+ against every bolt thrower wound. So that's why the knights are just sweeping out there to collect the points, and I'm really glad that I had them this game. Tank moving out, of course, around the building and in line of sight of the dragon. Of course, 6 inches is enough for 2 steam points. The other 2 steam points on the gun, and with 4 points, that's what you roll up each turn to be safe when you've got 10 wounds, on the charts. And all 3 of my guns went off. He failed his ward save on his lord riding the dragon and died. 2 direct hits to the and wounding hits to the dragon itself reduced it down to 1 wound. So surviving with the points intact, but it's really a question of whether he can survive the next round. And luckily for me as well, rolling up a boosted Dweller's Blow on his unit of Spearmen in the middle, wiping out one of his level 2 mages with the Lore of High Elf Magic, leaving him with only 1 mage, Lore of Shadows. His BSB survived and some of his spear rolls were sucked under as well. So pretty aggressive first turn from me, and the swordsman moving close to the building. Next image, Russell passes his monster reaction check for the dragon and just flies as close towards this cannon as possible. I've hidden it in the woods here so that it gives the dragon a little bit of difficulty when assaulting, but apparently in 8th edition you can just fly into woods normally. It's only if you roll a 1 that you take any damage, and although it's on 1 wound though, so the dragon will be risking if it flies into the woods. He could use his ground move, and I assume though, so that's what he's got there. Next image, the Eagle has ignored the Knights, not going to bother redirecting them, and has just gone straight for the cannon. Doesn't have enough movement to charge at first turn, but it'll have one opportunity to shoot the cannon, to attack the cannon. I guess the cannon can have a go at it point blank range, but it'll have to guess 0 inches and hope that it rolls less than, say, less than a 6 to actually hit it on the first round. The mortar has been firing at the Swordmasters, but hasn't been able to get any damage on them, like to actually land a direct hit just yet. Next image, speaking of Swordmasters, they have taken maybe 1 or 2 casualties, but have now run forward right into the cover of the building and will be moving into it next turn, and the Chariot moving up next to it. He's casting spells on a Swordmaster such as Occam's Mindrazor to make them a little bit more threatening in the building, although, to be honest, I don't really care about Mindrazor because he's going to be wounding me on 2s anyway. Really, it might affect my characters, but I can always assault the building and not commit the characters to close combat. One interesting point about building the rules is that if you have a large unit assaulting a building, you choose a team of 10 to attack, but the rules actually say that if you lose some of that team before they get to strike, that team is filled back up just in the same way that casualties would be taken back from for the back of the unit, and in 8th edition you get strike backs as usual. Next image, I've moved up in front of the building but haven't assaulted it. What I'm going to do here is just casually take my time and cast some spells on him and wait until it's my turn to actually cast a useful spell like Flesh to Stone, for example, or Earth's Blood, and then move in with my guys and clear the Swordmasters out of the building. The tank moving forward and the Knights charging the archers far behind the rear there. I've got my my Pistoliers in a position where they can fire long range at the dragon, needing 6 to hit it, but if they get a single wound through, that should be enough to kill it. And the reason I position them there is that there's a Chariot and an Eagle on the right-hand side of the battlefield, which I have to avoid. He's been firing his bolt throwers at my crossbowmen, not a bad choice. He's been really reaping them away and reduced them to 10 men, so I'm going to have to start clearing them out if I actually want to get my points intact at the end of the game. Mortar has lost a wound from something, it might have misfired, and at this point just trying to crack off shots. In the shooting phase, it's the Pistoliers which fire first, nailing the dragon, leaving my cannons free to fire at other targets. So I picked off, I think, another one of his chariots and possibly a bolt thrower in this turn too, so that was good news as well. Next image, the Knights have destroyed a unit of archers at the back of the field there and have reformed, and they'll have to charge through this difficult terrain graveyard to hit the second unit of archers, but it's well worth it. Even if I lose 1 or 2 Knights, they shouldn't panic, and the Knights will actually be able to get rid of yet another unit of archers and another banner too. So again, that's why you take a unit of Knights. That's why 12 of them or 11 of them with a character really useful. Hatred, Warrior Priest just does wonders, and it's a game controlling unit really. You've got a lot of tactical room with them, so doing quite well on this side of the field really. Next image, the Eagle finally charges the cannon and takes care of the crew, so quite like this Eagle model. He's quite well posed, so quite good looking there. Next image, he's moving a Chariot around the building. His Swordmaster in the building at the stage, but the Chariot getting picked off by, can't remember what it is. No, his other Chariot got shot at. This Chariot managed to survive, but doesn't have any legitimate targets to try and run down at the stage. Next image, the cannon, the tank has taken 1 wound, but is slowly moving around here to pick off whatever it can. Yeah, he's got 2 chariots back in play there, but I think this turn the cannon on the tank managed to snipe one of them. I've turned the flagellants around just to allow me to deal with any chariots sweeping around the back, and I've moved my my crossbowman out of the way so that if he shoots at the crossbowman with his archers or bolt throwers, they've got a cover save, not so much a cover save, an obstruction save. They've got cover with my own unit being in the way, and still not assaulting the Swordmasters in the building yet. Next image, Pistoliers are now free, so I think my turn 3 I swing around here and start shooting at the Eagle. The Eagle attempted to charge the bolt thrower, so the cannon in the forest, but didn't get range on him, so the Pistoliers are ripping into him with their guns. Quite good to get rid of that guy. Next image, yet another combat here, and the Knights are ripping into the archers, wiping them out, and overrunning into the bolt thrower in the background. What I didn't realise is that that actually slightly exposed my rear rank to his spearmen. So going to the next photo, you can see a flank charge. He's charging here with 11, or so it's more like 9 spearmen plus a character, a mage, and a BSB. So the Knights, I may lose some points here for the Knights, which is about 500, but at least I've wiped out his bolt throwers, and if he takes too long to destroy the knights, and he might, I can then get my tank in and just take care of his points as well. So it's a bit of a trade-off. I'm not too worried about this, but I would have preferred to have been able to keep the knights out of the combat until later, because there's plenty of time to mop them up. So a little bit of a mistake there for me. Next image, the flagellants turning around to try and face the eagle, which has now taken out both my cannon and my mortar at the loss of 1 wound from the crew striking back at it, and still haven't assaulted the building. I feel like I might be leaving this a little bit late here with the swordsman going into the building, because I've got a lot of swordmasters to clear out, and they're quite choppy when it comes to building assaults. But I've kept my crossbowmen alive as well, so that'll save me points at the end of the game too. Next image, he's brought his chariot around here after wiping out my cannon, but I'm able to move my pistoliers in behind it, and with a crossbowman there as well, able to just start shooting at it and eliminating that chariot as well. So that's good news. And next photo here, I've got the tank in combat with his lone chariot and spearman. So, and the warrior priest is the only remaining guy alive from the knight unit. He managed to, I think, get Mind Razor off and kill the knights. But the tank, of course, wiping out the chariot, going into the spearmen in the following turn and wiping them out as well, leaving him with just one BSB left alive in that unit. My guys assaulting his swordmasters a couple of turns in a row. I think it might have been 1 turn, can't remember. I think it was 2 turns. Flesh of Stone goes off. I managed to dispel his Mind Razor. I should mention with magic, he tried a couple of times to Shades my tank, but I dispelled it both times, and with 2 turns, and going to the next photo, I did manage to wipe out all of his swordmasters, luckily, with help of some magic and hatred, and obviously plenty of tough, swordsmen there, and took the building for an extra victory point bonus. And the tank ground down all of the spearmen and his mage, leaving him with just 1 BSB at the end of the game. So that's it for a wrap-up. Pretty convincing, solid win there, so it bounces me back to the top of the tables, giving me 1-11-9 loss, and I think this was like a 19-1 or 18-2 victory. So pretty solid going into Game 3 for the end of the day. Catch me around for the next game, hopefully uploading soon.